Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, Moose, I don't know what we're going to talk about today. I can tell you this. just under the wire, just before we went to air, I got the tweet out. I was looking for just the right GIF on my Twitter feed to promote our Listen Live feed, because we're streaming 24-hour sports radio, the world's best cast secret, plus we're on Game Plus TV. So I'm tweeting all that, and it's Tom Brady giving in a Buccaneers uniform, by the way. Yes, that's going to be a lot of our talk today over the next 2 hours. Tom Brady officially announcing his retirement this morning after 22 seasons. If anybody was listening to the intro, you called it yesterday. So neither of us know Tom, but clearly you know him better than I do, and we'll be talking about that. I'd like to ask the viewers what's their best Tom Brady memory, if they have one. Throughout the program, you can tweet at us. You can text us on the 902 line. You can write it on the YouTube feed if that's where you're watching the program from. If I may, Moose, two things on Tom Brady. When he came up through the NFL, we all remember in 2001, I was never a Patriots fan, so it's like Tom's doing his thing over there. I wasn't a Michigan fan, so whatever. He started to win Super Bowls. He's setting records, and obviously there was a coolness about him. But after he won about his fourth Super Bowl, and when the Deflategate happened and then the Spygate with his coach, people really started to turn on Tom Brady, a la what happened with Wayne Gretzky back in the day, a little bit with Sidney Crosby. That made me like Tom more.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Who should the Edmonton Oilers acquire in goal? Braden Holtby, Marc-Andre Fleury, Martin Jones. Leading the way right now, the Flower. Coming in second in the vote, Braden Holtby, who I think they should. I've been championing that for 2 years. They got too many goalies in Dallas. Trade Holtby. You guys aren't going anywhere.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show on a, Wednesday, midweek, episode number 688 of your favorite sports talk show is coming your way from beautiful South Florida. One half of the show, and the other half is in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, where I understand it's quite cold today. We've got breaking news to get to today, Darren Moose Dupont. We've got a lot of fun topics to get to today. Listen, it's been quite a morning for me. I got caught out in the rain. Got caught out in the rain. As my mom used to say, that guy doesn't have enough sense to come in from out of the rain. And that was me. I was got rained on in my Jeep. And then I come home and our gear is almost getting rained on. So now you see the sunshine back here. But that's the kind of morning that I've had, man. How's your, because it's noon Eastern already. How are things out your way?
You know what? They're okay. They're okay. It is, I'm just looking, minus 30. That's without the wind chill, okay? The blizzard is gone, but the snow is piled up to the window. It is... So I sat inside. You and I had a good conversation on the phone. I watched Sports Center, had coffee, stayed warm, and life is good.
Okay, good. Well, I see that it's like minus with the wind chill 35 or something in Calgary right now. So by the time we get back there, it's going to be above zero. So got it. So, yeah, the guests today, we had to get him. ESPN 1530 Cincinnati's Mo Egger with his Bengals going to the Super Bowl. Mo's going to join us to talk about that unlikely visit by the Bengals. And from the Seattle Kraken broadcast crew, our good friend Mike Benton. Benton on the mic. So those are the guests today, and without any further ado, let's get to the quick six show topics, please. Can you hit the horn, Director Jordan? Thank you. This isn't even point one. This is the breaking news from Wednesday morning. Washington has some new commanders in town. The NFL team announced its new name on Wednesday, 18 months after fresh pressure from sponsors helped convince the once storied franchise to drop its old moniker following decades of criticism that it was offensive to Native Americans. The term Redskins. The organization committed to avoiding Native American imagery in its rebrand after being called the Washington Football Team the past 2 seasons. From 1932 until 2 seasons ago, Washington had used the name Redskins, which offended some Native Americans and others. As the Commanders now, named this morning, Washington keeps the same burgundy and gold colors that were around for 3 Super Bowl championships in the 1980s and early 90s glory days. It follows the desire of team president Jason Wright and coach Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron, for the new name to have a connection to the U.S. military. I want to stand up if I could. I'm strapped in here. I can't, but say, bravo, Washington. I love the name Commanders. That's the poll question today. If the fellows want to put it up on the screen for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center, Capital with dealerships all across the prairies. Do you like the name Commanders? For me, it's an emphatic yes. Shortly after I posted that to Twitter, it was an emphatic no. 100% of respondents said they don't like it, but they don't care. Moose, I'll say it again. I love it. I was hoping there would be a military tie-in. It's pretty cool. Commanders. And listen, I don't think a lot of the voters understand. In America, 1 out of 10 Americans has some sort of affiliation to the military. I actually thought it would be more. A brother, a daughter, a son, a sister, a mother, a father. Somebody has that tie-in to the military. They're in Washington. Go get it. I think it's a major win. Now, it's a little bit of Tecmo Bowl-ish. You know what I mean? Like it's playing the video game?
Yes.
Today, the Washington Commanders versus the New York Comets. But we'll get over that. And it's a wonderful name. Way to go, Washington Commanders. I'm a fan, except for when they play the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East.
Look, I'm torn, man. You gave a great speech. And I'm kind of sold on Commanders now. But when I woke up this morning, or when I saw the leaks yesterday, I was highly disappointed. But it's not because I think another name is better. I think no name was better. I loved Washington Football Team. I thought it was organic to the roots. And if they weren't going to go with that, they wanted to have a team name, I can get behind Commanders. The only funny thing I saw on Twitter, and I was looking at it, was, they said Commanders in the military are outranked. Was it by generals and admirals?
Colonels.
So yeah. So it's already a 3rd-tier name, and it kind of fits for the franchise being in that division. But you know what? It's good. I'm cool. The military tie-in. And here's the thing. I said this about names when we were talking about names in other leagues, right? Whether it was Red Blacks or Elks in the Canadian Football League, or, Kraken or Golden Knights in the National Hockey League. You know what? Eventually the name will just be the name, and we're not going to think it's stupid. So if you think it's stupid now, just give it a few years. You'll come around to it just being the Commanders, and away we go. So if it wasn't going to be Washington Football Team, I'm cool with Commander.
Patrolman Pete watching in Winnipeg says it sounds a bit like the name of a fictional team that would be used in a movie. I know, or like I say, Tecmo Bowl, but you'll get used to it. From Darren in Salt Lake City, Commanders ties into the president or commander-in-chief. Yeah, I think it's a win. And I appreciate everybody chiming in with their good mornings from wherever you're watching across North America, Canada, and the USA on Game Plus Network and YouTube Live. By the way, I see there was a rant in there. The boys stamped it. Rod's rant brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating and Cooling. Reach us at 306-781-2090. for any and all of your water softener needs. I know the boys are watching at Bronco Plumbing and Heating. But as far as team names go and being offensive, that seems so 2020. So let's get to the actual games, okay? And here is the number one point. We're going to talk about the games. We're going to get to Brian Flores, trust me. NHL one-timers from Tuesday night. James Van Riemsdyk snapped the tie game when he scored off a rebound with 4:09 to go to lift Philadelphia over Winnipeg 3-1. That is 2 straight wins for the Flyers following a 13-game losing streak. Winnipeg's Kyle Connor scored 48 seconds into the game. Connor fired one from the circle past Katahat for his 25th of the season. The Flyers are now going on the All-Star break, and Kata says they could use the break. So I was watching the game. It was or at least my featured game last night, watching Flyers-Jets. There's 5 minutes to go. I'm like, this is going to overtime or a shootout. Do I want to stay up for it? A minute later, Wango, defensive breakdown, 2-on-1, Flyers score. Then they get an empty netter. The Jets hold a closed-door meeting after the game. Which, by the way, never works. And Dave Lowry, the head coach, the interim head coach, was like, I don't think these guys know how important these points are right now. 14 points out. It's over. God bless Hustler and all the great Jets fans watching in Winnipeg right now on Bell MTS, cable system, and Game Plus TV. But it's over. So I've got Jets fans sending me a list of untouchable Jets. There's like 10 names on it, Moose. And I'm like, if these guys are all untouchable, you should be better than you are. And I think they should be better than they are. Nobody really has an answer yet for what's wrong with the Winnipeg Jets, but it's something. And by the way, closed-door meetings don't ever work. Do you, Darren? Because you've been around long enough. You just surpassed your 35th birthday. They had that meeting back in September really turned things around, that closed-door meeting. Remember when we kicked the coaches out? Do you ever remember that? No, that's what bad teams do.
Yeah, it is. And closed-door meetings, I mean, sometimes you can have moments, but not after a game. If you have it the next day on an off day when you're feeling a little bit settled or on a game day, and it can spark you to a win, and that can spark you to a second win and a third win. I've seen that, but not right after a game, because you still go home or go to your hotel feeling bad. You're not rallied up after the loss and late at night. So it's a little bit tough, but I get it. Whatever you need to do to address this. The thing is, when Winnipeg comes back to you with 10 untouchable players, that tells me two things. A, there's still a lot of good in this organization, and there's a chance. Now, even if this season's a write-off, maybe you want to bring them back next year, and maybe it's a coaching thing, maybe it's a couple of pieces in the offseason. Cool. But it also tells me if you've got 10 untouchables, who else can bring you value? You're going to have to separate with somebody of value that you like, and it's going to hurt, in order to try and bring some value back and grow your team, right? It's the only way to grow. You got to give up something to get something. If they're going to go into a rebuild, it's going to suck for Jets fans because you're going to lose players you love.
In the comments, Carlos Legena's watching in Indianapolis. He says, does Cowboys versus Commanders have the same ring to it as Cowboys versus Redskins? No, but it doesn't matter. Redskins are gone. Get over it. From BW watching on YouTube, Commandos are better than Elks. It's not the Commandos, it's the Commanders, okay? They're going to be wearing underwear out there. They're not going to be running around bareback. It's not the Commandos, it's the Commanders. Come on, let's pay attention here. The General in Calgary says, game of the night, Rod, Flames versus Stars. Maybe for you. Jennifer at the Four Seasons watching. She says 13 in a row. Oh, my. Who's the cancer in the room, I wonder? That was Philly that had lost 13 in a row, not the Winnipeg Jets. We're not having a postmortem on the Philadelphia Flyers here, okay? We'll leave that up to Dan, the situation, Saravelli. The Flyers are not they're not our dog in the race. Moving on, Alex Galchenyuk was the only scorer in the shootout, and the Arizona Coyotes rallied to beat Colorado 3-2 Tuesday, snapping the Avs' 18-game home win streak. As we roll through the NHL one-timers here, Chris Kreider had 2 power play goals and an assist, and the New York Rangers beat NHL-leading Florida 5-2. The Duke, Anthony Duclair, and Sam Reinhart scored for Florida. Alexander Barkov had a couple of helpers. In Tampa, Victor Hedman scored from the left circle with 2:15 left in overtime, and Tampa Bay beat San Jose 3-2. In Boston, David Pastrnak scored twice, including a tie-breaking power play goal in the third to lift Boston over Seattle 3-2, and it's starting to rain again. Pray for me. Mitch Marner had 2 goals. Mitch Marner had 2 goals and an apple. Jack Campbell made 31 saves, and Toronto routed New Jersey 7-1. In Pittsburgh, Dmitry Orlov scored his 2nd goal of the game in the final minute of overtime to give Washington a 4-3 win over Pittsburgh. In New York, Oliver Wahlstrom and Matthew Barzal scored in the 2nd period. Ilya Sorokin stopped 26 of 27 shots, and the Islanders beat Ottawa 4-1. Philip Forsberg scored twice, and UC Saros made 30 saves in the 100th win of his career. Nashville beat Vancouver 4-2. Also scoring for Nashville, Tanner Jeannot, what do you know? The pride of Oxbow Sask. Oliver Collington exited the penalty box, joined a rush, and scored to cap a 3-goal rally in the third period as Calgary defeated Dallas 4-1. That's the game everybody's talking about. I understand the Flames comeback there. Andrew Mangiapane and Johnny Gaudreau also scored third-period goals, and Elias Lindholm assisted on the tying and winning goals. And in Vegas, Mark Stone, Jonathan Marchessault, and Brett Howden each had a goal and a helper, and Vegas beat Buffalo 5-2. That's what happened in the NHL on Tuesday night.
How about that?
And now if you're ready, folks, can we go with the NHL top 5, bottom 5? Hear ye, here we go. Another shift in the top 5 from the RP show is collected by the host. The number 1 team in the NHL remains the Florida Panthers. 69 points, are number 1 in the NHL. And they, of course, set a record for goals in a month coming out of January. These guys are something special. Number 2, Colorado. They've won 9 of 10. They're the NHL's hottest team. And despite stubbing their toe against the Yotes last night, you got to watch out for these guys. Number 3, the Carolina Hurricanes. They weren't in our top 5 last week. We might have been remiss, but they're back. They've won 4 in a row. Their .762 winning percentage is actually better than Florida. Carolina's number 3. Number 4, the Tampa Bay Lightning. What can I say? The three-peat is alive. And number 5, how about this? The Toronto Maple Leafs.
How about that?
5 wins in a row. 5 wins in a row are 5 wins in a row. Definitely the best team in Canada. Now to the bottom 5 teams in the National Hockey League. Number 28, the Buffalo Sabres. Congratulations, Buffalo. You narrowly beat out Philly for the 5th worst team in the NHL. Number 29, New Jersey. This is their first appearance in our bottom 5 all year. So bravo to them. Their .389 winning percentage is actually worse than Ottawa. Number 30, Seattle Kraken. Again, the worst team in the worst division. Congrats. Number 31, the Arizona Coyotes. It's getting even colder in the Valley of the Sun. -68 now in plus minus. And the worst team in the NHL. I'm sorry, it breaks my heart to say it. Number 32, the Montreal Canadiens. 23 points in the NHL. 1 win in their last 10 games. After having been there in June, Moose, with you, Stanley Cup final, it's very hard to believe this is the situation that the Habs are looking at, but it is what it is, and they'll be sellers leading up to the deadline. Any last thoughts for you on our top 5, bottom 5, or anything else before we break and come back with Brian Flores? I talked to a Rough Rider, former Rough Rider, who's very upset with the way things have gone there. But your take on our points so far?
Yeah, the top 5, bottom 5, that Montreal thing, man. I mean, I feel so bad for the fan base. We were around that city, and it was just up here, right? It was so high and so exciting, and you really felt this is like the birthplace of hockey, and this is what it's supposed to be. The Canadians are good, they're passionate, they're excited, and now this. I just can't imagine what the city's going through right now, so it kind of breaks my heart a little bit.
Interesting yesterday when Eric Engels was on from Sportsnet Montreal saying they've had all wide range of emotions, everything they felt in Montreal, and believe me, I get it. And when we were talking about that, it reminded me of Grey Cups past, where I would be covering Grey Cups with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and I would be on all these media outlets across the country, and they'd be going, Rod, what's the attitude? What's it like in Rider Nation right now? What's it like in Saskatchewan? I'm like, I know. I'm at Grey Cup. I can only imagine.
Right.
But it's a nice segue. When we come back, we will talk about Brian Flores, the former Miami Dolphins coach, who's suing the NFL for racist practices in the most popular sports league in America. I've reached out to some of my friends in the NFL, and I'm going to tell you what they had to say about this. And also, Ed Gainey is departing the Saskatchewan Roughriders, a very storied member of that football club, big part of it, and he ain't happy. So it's going to be ball for all, a lot of football when we come back. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
RP Show continues. I want to tell you that Jeff Foxworthy is the master of redneck comedy, and he's coming to Grey Eagle Event Center Saturday, May 28th. Actor, writer, producer, and the former host of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, Jeff Foxworthy's hilarious show can't be missed. Tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.ca. We hope to see you there at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino Event Center. So I'm going to go a little out of order here. We will get to the NFL story in a moment, but gosh knows every other network is all over it. We pride ourselves here on Game Plus TV to be a little different, which reminds me, Mo Egger, I understand, has not decided yet if he's going to Super Bowl or not. His radio station in Cincy has not decided, and we're like, we're going. But he doesn't have the backing of a national television network like we do, Game Plus, so I'm just very grateful that we're going, Moose. Now, isn't it wonderful in 2022, and it's been this way for a few years, that players have their own voice through social media? It's awesome. Tom Brady announces his retirement himself on Tuesday. Ed Gainey, star defensive back in the CFL. What's he been with the Riders? 4 years? Not anymore. he took to Twitter early Wednesday morning to say, "So long, Rider Nation," or something like that. It's been nice, Rider Nation. I guess he had a back and forth with some fans in a great way, a positive way. But he's leaving Saskatchewan not very happy. So I sent out a note, know him very well. We're with the team at the same time. He didn't want to comment publicly because he just felt that wouldn't serve him well. He said he wants to sign with another team and move on. And I saw Luches Purifoy, Defensive Player of the Year of the Roughriders, grumbling within the last week about his contract negotiations with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So you and I had a little bit of a talk about this before the show in terms of what we were going to discuss. I think if I say anything critical about the Roughriders, it would come across as sour grapes. So, I've got fans tweeting me saying, "Rod, what have the Riders done to show us that they are serious about contending for the Grey Cup this year?" My answer to that was, still a lot of time. It's February 2nd. A lot of time, and free agency hasn't even opened yet. Maybe that they are, collecting a war chest of money to go after some really big name guys that they covet. I don't know who would be bigger names than Edgany or Luches Purifoy in that secondary. But people are getting upset. I hear the quelling getting louder in the Rider Nation. And so, as I said to you, and I'll tell our viewers, and then you can have the floor. I guess when you look at this regime with the Roughriders right now, since Chris Jones left, Jeremy O'Day and Craig Dickinson, how do you judge success? It's different for everybody. If you want to judge it on a one-loss record, they're 22-10. That's pretty good. I'm no mathematician, but that's a pretty good winning percentage. It's over 750, isn't it? You're the math guy. Isn't that over 750?
It's awesome. I mean,
somebody will figure it out.
Yeah.
And hang on, and they've hosted home playoff games in each year. So if that is your barometer for success, I don't know anymore how things are done in Riderville. I got no idea. I don't know how the board measures success or the president. I don't know. The franchises that judge success by championships.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's how you judge it. At least that's how I do. And they don't have any of those. So there's a lot of pressure on, in this regime. So I'm kind of saying it's February 2nd. We'll sit back and let's see how it all plays out. It's very early on in this offseason. It really is, technically. But the pressure's on. Fans don't like what they see. I say it's not time to panic yet. You?
It's definitely not time to panic. I mean, if you're winning 2 out of every 3 games, now it's not 750, but it's 2/3 of your games, right? If you're winning 2 out of 3 games, it's pretty good. What's that, 66%? So, look, yeah, and it's the junior hockey conversation we have with personnel and hockey people all across this country too, right? What's a product of success in junior hockey? Playoff games and championships? Or players graduating to the NHL, right? What's a successful junior hockey franchise? And people have a different answer. Now, when it comes to pro sports, I mean, this team in Saskatchewan for a lot of years they wouldn't even hope of a home playoff game. I mean, that was a luxury. It just never happened. It wasn't even something you hoped for. It was just you tried to get into the playoffs. And now that they're winning games on a consistent basis. That's good. They're having home playoff games, which is great. But now it needs to translate into championships. And I think, the fan base is going to start to get a little bit unsettled when you're not competing and getting to Grey Cups and winning Grey Cups. And you're not there yet. I think you got to be patient. But you're right. It's not even free agency yet. But the noise is starting to creep up. You're starting to lose some impact players here. And now you're starting to get more criticism on the moves that are happening because this team needs to win. And especially having a Grey Cup at home, right? You look at the last time they were here, they loaded up for the Grey Cup at home. People want to buy tickets to the Grey Cup in Saskatchewan because they know their team's going to be in it. And right now, they're just not so sure. And now you're seeing what's happening in LA, and the Rams have loaded up, and now they're going to play in the Super Bowl at home. Tampa won the Super Bowl at home, right? So Rider fans want to win the Grey Cup at home. So I think that's why you're getting a little bit impatient. You're seeing that from the fan base.
Yeah, there's a little more to it than that, too. But I think in my monologue, I was remiss. I meant to put this in, and I will now. What I'm hearing from Rider fans is they are quite upset that they look down Highway number 1 and see the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as back-to-back champions. That's really not sitting well in Saskatchewan. And there is no reason to believe that Saskatchewan's done anything to supplant Winnipeg as the favorites to be the Grey Cup. And there would be nothing that would upset the Rider Nation more than to have Winnipeg represent the West Division in Mosaic Stadium this November. So that more than anything, that's what's sticking in their craw, seeing the success of their top rival. And you have to understand that the shoe does eventually change feet. You can't have the one shoe on forever. These things change. Look at the Patriots. They're not the Patriots anymore. You know, I've been telling you for 2 years that Winnipeg has supplanted Saskatchewan as the flagship franchise. And now you can just look at the results on the field for that. And they're also saying, how come Winnipeg's keeping all their stars, but we can't? Roughriders need to answer for that. And as a matter of fact, that's one thing Ed said. If Ed's like, if you want to know why I'm not with the Roughriders anymore, ask them. Because I don't want to say.
Well,
so that was his take on that. Now I'm going to move on. Darren in Salt Lake City says, Rod, do you think Brian Flores becomes the Colin Kaepernick of NFL coaches for his lawsuit that was announced yesterday? The answer to that is yes, I absolutely think that he will, but I don't think he cares. And for those that don't know to what we're referring, fired Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores sued the NFL and 3 of its teams Tuesday, saying racist hiring practices by the league have left it racially segregated and managed like a plantation. The lawsuit filed in Manhattan federal court sought class action status and unspecified damages from the league, the Dolphins, the Denver Broncos, and the New York Giants, along with unidentified individuals. Flores was fired last month by Miami after leading the Dolphins to a 24-25 record over 3 years. They went 9-8 in their second straight winning season, but failed to make the playoffs during his tenure. Remember when he was fired? Everybody around here was shocked. Wasn't a popular decision by the Dolphins. But the lawsuit alleged that the league has discriminated against Flores and other black coaches for racial reasons, denying them positions as head coaches, offensive and defensive coordinators, and position coaches, as well as general managers. That's the Wire story on this. Obviously, you're seeing wall-to-wall coverage. Jeff Reinbold is on European television talking about this as a guy that's worked in the NFL. I'm uncomfortable talking about it because, A, I'm white, B, I'm not racist. It's kind of like walking a high wire. I don't really know. So I shot a text message to a couple of my black NFL friends, and I said, is there merit to Flores' claims here? And they said, absolutely there is. Reinbold said as much on Sky Sports Europe. Like, there's one black head coach in the NFL. 1 out of 32 teams. Yes, it's a microcosm of American society. There's racism everywhere. There's racism in the National Football League. The interesting thing about Flores, though, here, before he launched this lawsuit, I'm only going by the football people I've talked to here, plus what I've heard from the insiders in the media, is that Brian Flores was really hard to deal with here. You know, the general manager of the Dolphins, who is black, by the way, Chris Greer, apparently was a power struggle between him and Flores here. And they kept giving Flores more and more control over personnel, more and more control over everything, and he was never, ever happy, couldn't get enough, and finally they're like, you're fired. That Brian Flores isn't the easiest guy to work with. You know, maybe he was fired because he's a jerk. I don't know. I've never met the guy. But clearly his career, I guess, doesn't mean as much to him as righting this injustice, which everybody agrees is a thing. There is racism in the National Football League. And I know you have thoughts on this, and you've been watching the coverage out of the States, too. Tell our viewers a little bit of what you know and where Bill Belichick comes into this. That was, from what I understand, like the cornerstone of Flores' the last straw, I guess, where he decided to mount this lawsuit.
That's the cornerstone of the whole suit. I mean, it's that text message. That's the proof, right? You see the text message conversation exchange between Bill Belichick and Brian Flores, and you know, it was a different Brian that got hired by the Buffalo Bills, right? And
Belichick was texting the wrong guy.
He was texting the wrong guy, saying, "Congratulations, I hear you're in the running." And Brian Flores is like, "Wait, I don't interview till Thursday." You know, well, it sounds like that you're their guy, right? And then, wait, do you know you're messaging Brian Flores and Bill Belichick? You can see the text messages online. And Bill Belichick put his foot in his mouth. He's like, I read this wrong. I'm sorry. Looks like they're going with the other guy. And Brian Flores hadn't even interviewed yet. And so you look at what the Rooney Rule is, that you have to interview, you have to interview multiple minorities for every head coaching job and one minority for every assistant coaching job, in the league. So Brian Flores gets called in, whether they were considering him or not, right? I've been in situations running interviews where I have 10 candidates lined up for an interview, and the second one I interview is a home run, and I'm like, I need to hire that person. They're so good. And unfortunately, the other people don't even get a shot, right? You still want to go through them just in case, do your due diligence. But it looks awful suspicious, like, Brian Flores has a real case here. And it's not good. It's not a good look for the NFL. And you wonder what it'll do to Brian Flores, if other teams are going to want to bring him in now, because you talk about the Colin Kaepernick comparison. That's what's unfortunate, and it's definitely not a good look.
Fans don't really want to know what's going on in sports with their favorite leagues or teams. They just don't. Moose, thanks for this. We'll see you back in hour 2.
Sounds good.
Randolph's watching in Ontario. He says, this is a tough one. Discrimination is hard to prove even when it looks obvious. John Ohm watching in Winnipeg. He says the Winnipeg Blue Bombers went 31 years without winning a Grey Cup. Now that they have 2 in a row, they're the best damn thing in the Flatland. Well, I've written about it. I've said it. Let them have their due. They waited 31 years for this. So let them have it. They've earned it. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Wayne in Victoria, BC. I agree that it's concerning that players like Ed Gainey and Luches Purifoy are leaving. Winnipeg is re-signing their players, as Rod said. I'm just repeating what I hear from the Rider Nation. How come Winnipeg can sign all their stars, but we can't? Ask the Riders. Curling, Emma Miskew kept herself in the fight for the playoffs while Chelsea Carey took a body blow Tuesday at the Scotties in Thunder Bay. Miskew's wildcard 3 rink improved to 3-3 with an easy 14-1 win over Bridget McPhail of Nunavut. In other games, Sarah Hill from Newfoundland won her second game of the week with an 8-5 upset of Northern Ontario's Krista McCarville. Saskatchewan's Penny Barker used a 9-6 win over Suzanne Bird of PEI to improve to 3-2. Andrea Crawford of New Brunswick leads Pool A at 5-0. Carrie Einerson's Team Canada improved to 5-0 with a 10-5 win over Marianne Arsenault of BC, while Kerry Galusha of the Territories used an 8-6 victory to hand Manitoba's Mackenzie Zacharias her first loss. In other games, Alberta's Laura Walker defeated Yukon's Haley Burney 11-5, and Ontario's Holly Duncan picked up a first win with an 8-6 victory over Nova Scotia's Christina Black. Einerson, the 2-time defending champion from Gimli, Manitoba, leads Pool A at 5-0. And Gary Trent Jr. scored 33 points on 11 of 20 shooting as the Raptors beat the Miami Heat 110-106 at Scotiabank Arena Tuesday night for their 3rd straight win. What I tell you, Gary Trent Jr. is my favorite Raptor. I'm just going to throw in, that's the tail end of our Quick Six. Brought to you by Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games. The Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, and for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Seattle Kraken broadcaster Mike Benton joins us next. You're watching the RP Show from beautiful, off and on, sunny South Florida on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Daytime Sports Talk continues, and we want to tell you, telemiracle.com, the 50-50 raffle is live now. It's become an annual tradition. It's the 46th edition of Telemiracle, a Saskatchewan tradition. Raffle proceeds will stay in Saskatchewan, will be part of Telemiracle 46, supporting the great work of the Kinsman Foundation. Kinsman Foundation helping people every day improve their quality of life through independence, gifts of mobility, and medical travel assistance. Tickets can be purchased by anyone over the age of 19. You have to physically be in the province of Saskatchewan. Draw date is March 2nd. Please purchase yours at telemiracle.com. Time to talk a little NHL. And last night in Boston, we mentioned it earlier, and I will again, David Pastrnak scored twice, including a tie-breaking power play goal in the third, lifting the Bruins over the Seattle Kraken 3-2. Mike Benton hosts Seattle Kraken broadcast out of Seattle. Good friend of ours, and he joins us today from the Emerald City. How you doing, Benton, on the mic?
Rod, great to hear from you, my friend. I know when I start my day with you guys in this show, it's going to be a great one. So I'm feeling great. How about you, man?
Good to hear it. Good to hear. It's funny you say we're middle of the afternoon out here on the East Coast, and there you are all the way out in Seattle. Last time we had you on, Mike, the Kraken were somewhat, like it was very early in the season, and it looked like they were going to threaten to do something. Now, last place in the Pacific Division, and I'm just wondering if they still have the attention of the Seattle sports fan. How is this first season going over, given the fact that the playoffs look like not happening?
Well, certainly, I think when you compare the expectations of back in the summer to now, we were certainly miles ahead back then as far as where we thought this team would be. Now, that being said, they are an expansion team here in season one. Some people who have waited not just for years but for decades to have NHL hockey in the Seattle area. Have been trying to look at really more of the underlying parts of this season and enjoy them step by step, despite the mounting losses. So attendance has been great. Turnout has been great. There have been a few more empty seats in the lower bowl and the upper bowl, but nothing that is really of alarming concern, I think. So, I think a lot of people are really understanding around this area, despite how tough losses are, of how long it takes really to build a winner. And once we got past that phase of trying to compare this team to the previous folks on stage in the Vegas Golden Knights, there was more understanding of really how long-term you had to look as far as a build of this team right from its foundation. I want to say back in December, we had a chance to take a look at the metrics here with how progress has been made for this team versus other expansion teams since the big boom of the 1990s. And you take Vegas out of the equation, the only team that was better than the Seattle Kraken was the Florida Panthers under Roger Nielsen back in 93, 94. So a lot of patience really has been required to absorb this build. You're going to take some body blows here, and the Kraken certainly did so last night in Boston, coming back to tie it, then losing on a power play goal. Then the Ranger game on Sunday, coming back to tie it, extra attacker goal. Then all of a sudden, boom, Keandre Miller scores from the point. But you're hearing a lot of talk from the room about building a culture, building a winner, and not just that, but finding ways to embrace the area outside the glass. The Kraken certainly are checking out those boxes here in season 1.
Oh, there's no doubt. Just as a Golden Knights fan, and they are still my number one team, I didn't think that they'd come close to matching Vegas, and they really haven't. But having said that, there's been 10 pole wins, Mike, like I said, and I've listened to you on some of these broadcasts. Sweeping the Florida Panthers, for instance, in the regular season is sitting well. You've had some big home wins. Like, talk about those. What have been the high points for the Kraken in their expansion season?
You know what? I have to think back and remember what the building sounded like. December 3rd against the Edmonton Oilers, the end of their win against the Florida Panthers, and think, man, how loud would this sound come Stanley Cup playoff time? You always hear that Seattle fans are well known for their passion, for their volume. I had a chance to experience it WHL level, Everett Silvertips games, Seattle Thunderbirds games, even, don't discredit, teams like Spokane and Tri-City when they pack their venues out. There's a lot of passion which translates into energy and volume, and we're seeing that translate to the Major League Sports team, the Seahawks, and now present day with the Kraken. So moments like that matter. People go home and think, what's it going to be like when you see a team that takes that next step, that then contends for a playoff spot, then gets into the Stanley Cup playoffs? I had to envision what this arena is going to be like from a home ice advantage. It's like a 17,000 seat fishbowl. You have seats stacked on top of one another, just kind of like Bell Center in Montreal, and we all know how loud Bell Center is out there. So from a bit of a lesser scale, but from more of an acoustic standpoint, when you can tap into that energy, players and head coach Dave Axtell have mentioned how much it can be an advantage for them when it comes to big games, like when Edmonton was on a heater and they came in back in December and they took down some giants like in the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. Crowd volume makes a big difference, and I have to think when they can take that next step after this season, years down the road, how much of an asset that's going to be in Stanley Cup playoff time, and it's going to be huge.
Mike, we got 2 minutes. I got 2 questions. One, Climate Pledge Arena. I've called several games out of there when it was the Key Arena. Is it even recognizable after the renos from what it used to be?
Yeah, good question, Rod. To me, it's a brand new building. I had a chance to enjoy a concert there about 3.5 years ago, right before they shut the building down, wiped it clean. So basically, they took the 40 million pound roof, suspended it, so to speak, using, super strain poles to keep it up, and just wiped the entire deck clean and built a brand new arena underneath. I came in before the Canucks game for the home opener back in October, and I went, oh my goodness. It was just like taking your house, stripping it down right to the foundation, tearing off the drywall, the wallpaper, the carpet, everything, and putting everything brand new, turnkey, like you're just watching an HGTV show. So it really is top of the line, and it's been very, very enjoyable.
All right, thank you. And lastly, my boy Ebbs, Jordan Eberle, the lone Kraken All-Star. You saw Nathan McKinnon grumbling that not every team should be represented in the All-Star game. He felt he should have some Avs teammates on there. I disagree. Jordan Eberle will be going to the All-Star game. Is there some buzz about that in the Emerald City that Ebbs will be representing your team in Vegas?
Well, certainly people have enjoyed Jordan Eberle and what he's done here for season 1. And, it's really been, I think, telltale how much of a difference he's made for the Islanders when he was there playing alongside Matt Barzal. And at times, he's had a chance to really drive offense on this team. And at one point was on pace for a 40-goal season with this team. He's hit the skids now. He's about now 20 games without a goal. But, scores are going to be streaky. They're going to have ups and downs. The one thing, though, that you enjoy about Jordan Eberle, the consistency of his attitude, there's no panic in his game. That's made a big difference, and Jared McCann has taken that next step and has now taken the lead in goal scoring. So Jordan Eberle, for what he's done, earning the first hat trick in franchise history, really establishing a footprint as their go-to guy to generate offense. A lot of celebration here for Eberle. And funny enough, he goes right from playing the Islanders this evening, his former team, right into the All-Star break. What a week for him.
Yeah, he's always a busy guy. He's always playing in the big games and the big tournaments. And he's loving Seattle, too, by the way, Mike, I'm glad that it's worked out for everybody. Man, keep up the great job. I'm listening all the way out here in Florida. Enjoy the All-Star break.
As always, Rod, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Give him a follow on Twitter, Benton on the mic. Mike Benton, Seattle Kraken broadcaster. We'll be back with Taco Time Viewer Takeover. Everything you want to talk about is on the table next. We'll be right back. You're watching on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Lots of time here for viewer takeover. For Taco Time, Canadians love local. Go loco, eat local. Taco Time uses ingredients sourced in Canada. As you probably know, our beef, chicken, cheddar cheese, sour cream, and Mexi fries all come from the Great White North. I can't wait to get back to Calgary and enjoy me some Taco Time. So it's viewer takeover, as I said. We're talking about Ed Gainey leaving the Saskatchewan Roughriders not on good terms. That's the sense I got from him. We're talking with him this morning. Metal Shingle Guy writes in on the 902 text line. The number's on the screen. Maybe Jeremy O'Day knows it's time to move on from some guys earlier than later. Remember Charleston Hughes? Still lots of free agents. That's what I said on Twitter. We haven't even hit free agency yet. Maybe the Roughriders have a plan. It's just tough to see good people and great players leave the team on bad terms. But that's sports. Regarding the new name of the Washington NFL team, I'm on record as saying I like it. We opened the show with it. The Washington Commanders, it was announced this morning. Chris Jarl, watching in Surrey, BC, says, if the Commanders go commando, we might see too much burrito.
Spicy.
By the way, I know. Go follow Taco Time Canada on Instagram or Taco Time Regina, and specifically the Taco Time Regina. They've got a promotion today. Big stuffed burritos. I'm like, get in me. Big stuffed burritos at Taco Time today.
Go.
You betcha, Rick Regan.
Approved.
Stephen Jacobs watching in Severn, Ontario on Game Plus Television says, I don't dislike Commanders. I like the Washington football team. Commanders, too many syllables, too vague. Is it Armed Forces or Star Trek? He says Commander Riker was my favorite. Well, it depends on how they roll it out. But I like the fact that Ron Rivera, their coach, wanted a military tie-in. So did I. If you weren't watching off the start of the show, I said 1 in 10 Americans has some sort of tie-in or affiliation with the military. I get a family member, themselves having served. Last minute of play in hour one. So I like it. I just think they roll it out. The colors are going to stay the same, burgundy and gold. I liked Washington football team too. I did. It was simple. It was streamlined. It was classy. But they want a name. And, this will make it a lot easier for a mascot. You have to think about all those things, right? Jeff watching in Redmond, Oregon on Game Plus Television, where they carry us on TDS cable, all through the state of Oregon and Washington. He says, call them the commies for short. No, not as a right-wing guy. He also says, who's Tampa going to have a quarterback next year? Let's get into that next hour, eh? What say you? The Moose will be with us, and Mo Egger from Bengals Radio, all coming up after this.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Who should the Edmonton Oilers acquire in goal? Braden Holtby, Marc-Andre Fleury, Martin Jones. Leading the way right now, the Flower. Coming in second in the vote, Braden Holtby, who I think they should. I've been championing that for 2 years. They got too many goalies in Dallas. Trade Holtby. You guys aren't going anywhere.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It sure is. Hello, Canada and Canadian sports fans in the USA and around the world. Welcome to the RP Show, coming to you from off and on cloudy and rainy South Florida. I see that the Hockey Club podcast has weighed in from Tallahassee. Corey Patterson hosts the Hockey Club podcast up there in Tallahassee, and he says, I don't know who he's answering or what he's saying, but he says it's 68 and sunny. Well, it's cloudy down here, Patty. But that's okay. Let's bring in the Moose, Darren Moose Dupont, on what's been a very fun day, Moose. I'm not sure if you've been keeping touch with what we've been doing, talking Seattle Kraken hockey, a little CFL news, and they're still weighing in on the Commanders thing. I think a lot of people are giving it the thumbs down, but I think it'll grow on you. Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in and he says, I'm not surprised the Riders have moved on from John Ryan. Those were some pretty expensive rouges you were paying him. I don't know. Did I miss the story? Where did it say that the Riders are moving on from John Ryan? I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm trying to stay on top of the Brian Flores stuff. The Pats are home tonight, this and that. Did you see somewhere that the Riders are moving on from John Ryan?
I'm trying to look it up right now and see if there's some information on where John Ryan's going or what the Riders are doing with John Ryan.
Don't worry about it. No. That's what we rely on the viewers for, Moose. You know that. Somebody can chime in with a link or some sort of report, or who reported that the Riders are moving on from John Ryan. I'll tell you what. Listen. You say goodbye to Ed Gainey, that sucks. People are going to be upset, but they'll get over it. It's probably what the Riders are gambling on today. Or Luchez Purifoy, or a lot of these guys. John Ryan, whoa. Sheldon Williams grad, U of R Ram record holder, that's a different story. So we'll see. It sure seems like they're pinching a lot of pennies over there. But as we say, we're very early in the offseason, or at least we're not even into free agency yet. Hey, before we go any further, it's afternoon out here in the Eastern time zone, Moose. I want to say that, so tonight, sports on tap. Let's talk about this for a second. Oilers at the Washington Capitals, Seattle Kraken at the New York Islanders, Jordan Eberle's return, and it'd be for the first time Ebs will be playing in UBS Arena, the brand new home of the Islanders. LA Kings at Detroit, Minnesota at Chicago, the Calgary Flames at Arizona. NBA, the Raptors are off, but they've won 2 in a row, so they've earned a night off. In the dub, Saskatoon Blades at the Regina Pats, Medicine Hat Tigers at Edmonton, Swift Current at Lethbridge, Prince George at Spokane, and just for spits and giggles, I'm going to throw in that in the SJ tonight, Nipawins at Estevan and Flin Flonas at Notre Dame. Any of those interest you? Something you might be interested in?
Yeah, there's a few there, for sure. Probably Edmonton and Washington. That's probably the biggest one of the night. It's a big test for the Oilers, and Washington's one of the best teams in the NHL. So that'll be probably the game of the night.
Oh, man, we cracked a big nut here on the John Ryan thing. Robin in Prince Albert and Jason in Red Deer both have put in the link. Roughriders plan not to re-sign local punter John Ryan. Now, that's going to take some delving into. But it's a special day today. And I'm reading from one of our fine sponsors on Twitter, the Four Seasons Sports Palace. The Greek freak down there says it's a special Tuesday, second day, second month of the 22nd year. It's a very special day. I don't know if anybody believes in astrology or not, but you should. He says, we're happy to report 6 more weeks of fantastic sporting action and great food at the Four Seasons. Wings on special, plus a huge WCQ for Team Canada. What's that, World Cup qualifier?
That's right.
As they move close, he's a soccer fan. He says, as they move closer to clinching a World Cup berth. I'm not mentally there yet, but I'm working on it. He says NHL, NBA, and Scotty's pool play. Watch it all here. So 2/2/22 today. It's Groundhog's Day. What did Punxsutawney Phil or Pete or whoever, what did he say today? What did he say? Do we know?
6 more weeks of winter.
Did he say that?
Yeah, I saw the shadow, I think, and that means 6 more weeks of winter.
Come on. You're sitting in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. Who on February 2nd would think that winter would not last for 6 more weeks? Give me a break. Every year, it's 6 more weeks of winter. We don't need a damn rodent to tell us that.
Winter goes until the end of April around here.
I'm trying to find a story. I can't find it. Here's the breaking news. One of the leaders of the convoy of trucks in Ottawa says politicians are responsible for the hardships residents have been enduring since the weekend. Chris Barber says that instead of engaging with protesters, politicians, quote, prefer to vilify and call us names. They called us names. Barber says the convoy is prepared to stay for as long as it takes to get governments across the country to end COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Why on earth did I go down that road? Talk about something else. Another very special night tonight. Tell the world, Moose, why tonight is special at the Brand Center and why you're going to be part of it and what a major God shot that is.
Yeah, maybe he's watching right now. Les Lazaruk is going to call his 2000th career game in the Western Hockey League for the Saskatoon Blades tonight against Regina. And I've done a lot of games with him. I've done parts of most of 6 seasons with him. at one point doing color, so I'm going to slide in tonight, and hopefully he'll have me. He doesn't know I'm coming to the game tonight, but I'll be there to call the game with him against Regina. So that'll be fun.
How does he not know?
He should. He should know. I told him, I leaked to him last week that we were planning on surprising him in Medicine Hat or Lethbridge for the 2000th game. But then it got postponed. So.
Yeah. So the Saskatoon Blades in Regina tonight, the 2000th broadcast for Les Lazaruk, the voice of the Blades, and you're going to be doing color. For those that don't know, because I get asked this a lot by people, what's DuPont's story? I've told you this. People say, where's DuPont get his money? And I say, well, he spent close to 10 years as the color voice of the Saskatoon Blades. That's where he got a lot of his money. But you've done more games color for Les Lazaruk than anybody else, which is saying something when he's calling his 2000th game tonight, huh?
Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. I mean, it's been awesome to see, and I mean, we know Bob Ridley is the king of games. He's done over 3,000 of them, but 2,000 is
Uncle
no
Giggles.
small feat. Yeah, no small feat.
I'm just going to ring this anyways. Jennifer from the Four Seasons says, Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, but 3 other hogs did not. So who knows? And she writes an LOL. What I know is the sun has come out here in South Florida today, and when I go to drive and get my haircut this afternoon, I'll be able to take the top off. Are they playing soccer today? Dan in Winnipeg says, go, Canada, go, with a soccer ball. Are they playing today?
Honduras.
Where?
I think it's out east. Oh. Thank you.
Does El Salvador count as out east? Is that something you might be interested in?
Look at these two dummies try and talk about soccer. My God.
Well, you're supposed to know.
I should know, right? I know.
I'm checking my Score app, which qualifies as the big board. There's women's hockey action, obviously pre-tournament, pre-Olympics exhibition games. Switzerland playing Canada today. China taking on the Czech Republic. A slew of NCAA basketball. And then here it is. El Salvador versus Canada, 9 p.m. Eastern start. I'll be visiting the Sandman. It's in San Salvador. Last time they played was September the 8th. Was that the game in Edmonton? 3-0 Canada. Was that the game? No, there wasn't that much snow in minus 26 in September in Edmonton. It's 1:11 Eastern, by the way. On the second day of the second month of the 22nd year. My God. My cousin Christine in Medicine Hat pointing out that it's 11:11 Mountain. Can I say this? And holy smokes, am I all over the road today? I'm missing Calgary as for a lot of reasons. Not the minus 30 temperatures today, but what a sports town, right? NHL, NLL, CFL, WHL, Junior A, University, which we went and saw University hockey. Like, my God, that's my kind of town.
There's everything. It's got everything. I mean, no matter what you're a fan of, there's always something going on in Calgary when it comes to sports. It's an underrated sports town. I mean, it's got all the leagues, but very under the radar when it comes to being a sports town.
Highly underrated, but I think in time they're going to have a CEBL team as well. I saw that they're going to have I see there's an arena deal potentially. Our friend from TSN reporting that. So, yeah, there was the one thing when we were in Calgary, we were talking with one of the local sports movers and shakers, and he said very real chance at that time of the Flames moving. And I said, what happens then? The look I got of sheer panic in his eyes. Hey, we're not putting that out into the universe. By the way, my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat says Olympic hockey. She wants to know when the Canadian women are playing this pre-tournament game for the Olympics in hockey. 11:10 Eastern, Chris. That is 9:10 Mountain. So I'll tell you what, why don't you watch it and tell me how it went? Jeff, here we go. Man, are we off the board today? Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Calgary's the best sports town in the nation. And I'm sitting here saying I'm not sure I'm even going to argue that. But you as the Leafs fan, do you take issue with that?
No, I mean, I don't. I mean, ultimately, you can't decide those things right now. I don't think, So, no, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I'm fine.
Well, with the Raptors winning the championship and the Leafs being the number one team in Canada right now, they might make a run for it. But let's put it this way. Calgary is right up there. If Montreal ever got an NBA team, which there has been talk, and for sure an MLB team, they would have a run for it. Toronto's got all those things I just said, plus MLB and NBA. So as much as I'm not the biggest Johnny Toronto, I'm a Western guy for the most part. I'll say Toronto's the number one sports town, but Calgary a very close second, and it's not close for 3. Okay?
Yeah.
Trent Bruner is watching in Norway, and he says, Norway here. I left my flag in the car. He says, congratulations to Mr. Lazaruk on calling 2,000 games. May Canada win over El Salvador. He says, time for the NHL Jets to pull up their socks from what we've heard this week. Stay well, everyone. Max Hardwick watching on YouTube says, hello from San Salvador. Canada versus El Salvador will be the biggest thing on local TV tonight. Love the show. See, that's why I'm not turning my back on soccer. Because I am open-minded enough to realize that I realized that, Moose, in the 90s, and maybe you were one of these kids that I saw running around these fields in our home province playing soccer. And I'm like, we didn't grow up playing that, but they are. And I knew enough to know that it's the world's number one game. There's a generation of kids coming up in Canada playing this game. And here we are. I can't believe the amount of people that love soccer. I'm not one of them, but I'm not going to dismiss it either. I mean, I get it. But it's a little like curling. I'm sitting here reading these curling round-robin games at the Scotties. I'm like, wake me up for the playoffs. I'll be into it rock by rock by rock. Come semifinals and medal games, not on a Wednesday. Sorry. Where are you? Like, I can't be into everything. Where are you on that?
On the curling, I'm into it. Had it on all morning. It's that's the curling culture, right? You're not necessarily into every rock, but it's watching it in the morning, noon, and night, having it on, following the games, that kind of stuff. And for me, honestly, as weird as this might seem, from a curling perspective, from a curling fan, I lose interest as the week goes along. I'm all in at the beginning. I love watching all the games, seeing all the teams. And then as you get to the round, the playoffs and stuff, I lose a little bit of interest. But that's just me. I love watching all the different teams play. And I think a lot of curling fans are the same way.
I'll leave you with this before we break and come back and continue this. Pinks, one of our P1's Priority One viewers, says, I agree with Jeff, the Stamps fan. Calgary is the best sports town, and that has a lot to do with the people in Calgary that make it. I can't argue with that. I mean, I'm only saying Toronto because of the leagues that they're in. NBA, MLB, we love our Blue Jays, right? I don't even like the Leafs. But if you want to talk about the people in the stands, then I'm here for the discussion that Calgary is the number one sports town in the country. That's saying something. And I got to say this, too. The more time we spend there, the more people come up, put their arm around us and say, come on in, come to this thing, come to that thing, bringing us gifts. I guess that's why I miss that Calgary, because of the Western hospitality. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube live streaming, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Hey, the Moose is already on the screen. Hour 2 of the show is brought to you by Great Western Original 16 beers. They're found across Western Canada, and if you're lucky, there might even be one in your fridge. Hey, by the way, Moose, tough tribe for men. I have to say, where's it been all my life? And I'm not joking, just because they're a sponsor. It's coming with me to Super Bowl, the pomade. It's coming with me to Calgary. Been a game changer. Tough Tribe for Men was designed to meet the unique demands of clean professional grooming. The warm scent of a gentleman's shampoo teams up with an invigorating, cool peppermint conditioner. Top that off with a little beard and hair pomade to start your day feeling fresh and confident. Available now at toughtribeformen.com. That's the number 4. toughtribeformen.com and Amazon Canada. The lady here that does my hair, Oneja, is her name. She's from Brazil. She says, you need paste. You need paste in your hair. I didn't know. Where do I get paste? That's pomade. Apparently in Brazil, they call pomade paste. So I'm just saying. And if you buy that package, it'll last you minimum 6 months, I swear, maybe a year. I was going to spend more time on the Brian Flores situation, and maybe we'll spend a minute on it here, but I'm just seeing my phone is blowing up, and we're going to get to this CFL talk, and then we're going to bring in Mo Egger from ESPN 1530 Cincinnati, and you and I will talk a little bit more about the Super Bowl. But we're finding out, as of this morning, Ed Gainey leaving the Roughriders, and he's not leaving on good terms. He's upset. I spoke with him, and he goes, have them explain why I'm not coming back. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to move on with my life. Big Mike writing us on Twitter with now the news that John Ryan isn't going to be brought back by the Roughriders. Big Mike on Twitter says, what is going on with Jeremy O'Day not getting some of the star players back? Ed Gainey out now, too. They are upset. I'll say it again if you missed it last hour. How do you judge success? This regime, Dickinson and O'Day, 22-10. That's pretty damn good. Hosting playoff games. That's pretty damn good. If you judge it on that, which the Riders judged themselves for a generation on that barometer, very good. If you judge yourself on championships, which this team did for a decade under Jim Hobson, not very good. And that's how I judge it, but not everybody does. And because free agency hasn't even opened yet, I would suggest it's too early to give even the Riders a grade on what they're doing in the offseason. But to, as it looks, upset these veteran players that have given so much to the franchise, that's not a good look. That's my take on that.
It's not. It's not a great look. It's going to upset the fan base. We talk about familiarity. People buy tickets to watch their favorite players. People buy tickets because of the connection they feel to the franchise. And talked about the home field advantage. I mean, think about right now. You talked about Winnipeg coming into Saskatchewan and hosting and being in the Grey Cup in Saskatchewan. That gives Rider fans nightmares. Well, it's the same thing for Calgary, right? I think the rivalry is just as big with the Calgary Stampeders over the last couple of decades. That imagine Calgary rolling into Saskatchewan and hosting a Grey Cup, and they're bringing back a lot of key pieces already. And then imagine Chris Jones bringing the Edmonton Elks into Saskatchewan to host the Grey Cup with another team. It's like the only team that maybe wouldn't give you the same feeling as the BC Lions. Doesn't make you feel very good if you're a green and white supporter.
So that's what's going on. That's the news that's fit to print here. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, he says, O'Day looks to be an early spender in February 8th. It really looks like they are building a war chest, which is what I said yesterday, right? Getting some cash reserves here to spend big in free agency. Like, I saw the list of Blue Bomber free agents that are still left to sign. Now, they got Rasheed Bailey signed today, but they haven't signed Kenny Lawler. We just got a long ways to go. And the other thing is, I know Rider fans, they're no different than any other fans. They start signing some big-name guys. They're going to forget about John Ryan and Ed Gainey in a real hurry. It's not right, but that's society. That's not a Rider thing. That's a fan thing. Robin, watching in the Gateway to the North, says, Ed Gainey and John Ryan being cut is comparable to Dressler and Chick. His opinion. Dan in Winnipeg, this guy's got a lot of questions. Dan Asham, and by the way, they're all good, Moose. He says, what do you think of CFL arena football in the CFL offseason, Rod? You know what I love about this show is, Darren, people are new to my stories. You know what I mean? You know what my feeling is on CFL arena football. This guy doesn't know. And most of the people watching right now on Game Plus TV don't know. It's an entirely blank canvas for me to paint a masterpiece. So I used to be a big-time ideas guy. Now I leave that to you. We collaborate on our ideas. But I, for years, wanted to have an arena league in the spring in Canada. And my thought on that was, let's get guys coming out of Canadian university football, and let's get rookie Americans and get them playing arena football. We'll have teams from Winnipeg to Calgary, and we'll play indoor, and we'll play in Brandon and Winnipeg and Edmonton and Red Deer and Saskatoon and Regina, Moose Jaw. Lethbridge Medicine had to be the biggest thing. I had guys lining up to be scouts and do personnel. We could do it. There's nothing going on, by the way, on the prairies in the spring. Nothing. Other than Stanley Cup playoffs, but people can't afford to go to those games. But now, I'm like, because I'm not necessarily the biggest football guy, so I'm not going to spearhead this. It's just my idea. But it wouldn't have been hard, I know for a fact, to get a TV deal and sponsors and owners. It would not have been hard. But I'm not going to be the one to do it because when I was at Theo's last week, he's got some ships coming into the harbor, okay? It's just some things he's waiting on there in Fleury. And he's like, when this comes in, he flopped down on his couch. He's like, I'm done. I'm done working. And I'm like, I get it, Theo. That's why I only want to work 2 hours a day. I get it. I've worked my whole life. I don't want to do this anymore. It's a young man's game. Somebody pick it up. That's you. Maybe you want to go have the Canadian Arena League. I don't anymore. Used to, don't anymore.
Yeah, I could get into it. I think it's an exciting idea. It's the right time of year to do it, right? When there's a little less going on. I think it would be a lot of fun. But yeah, I totally get it. I mean, it's great to have the ideas, and we hear it all the time. The CFL should do this. Someone so should do this. Well, they're not doing it. And they got their own reasons for not doing it. It's not our job to, do somebody else's job, but yet that's maybe where the opportunities are. I don't know.
Did my screen go all blurry? Or is it just me?
It looks good to me.
Or is it my computer?
Yeah, it looks fine.
That's good. Okay. Something happened here. Jeff Camillo's watching in Winnipeg says, that'd be cool. Arena football at the Keystone Center? Arena football in all those venues. Because people are looking for something to do. The weather isn't great yet. You're not going to the lake yet. You're not camping yet. Yeah, Robin in Prince Albert says, the Game Plus Network presents the Canadian Arena League. Cal. I think it would be amazing. You could play an 8-game season. It would take you right into CFL training camps. So the best players from the spring Canadian Arena League go into CFL training camps because as I've been around the game long enough, the coaches always tell me the more reps these guys can get, more reps, more makes them a better pro. And because it's only going to be an 8-game season, you could get a lot of guys that would want to play and can go have another job. We're not going to pay them a lot of money, $500 a game at the most. But there's a thriving arena football league here in the States that kind of goes under the radar, but they find a way to do it. And listen, you only got to go as far as Kurt Warner, Iowa Barnstormers, which reminds me, you said you watched that movie on Kurt Warner?
Oh, yeah.
How was it?
It was fantastic. I mean, it was, when it started, I'm like, this is going to be a little cheesy, right? But you know what? You buy into it right away and you get lost in the story. And Kurt Warner's got a great story. You talk about from bagging groceries to, winning a Super Bowl in the NFL. It's all about getting people to take a chance on you. And his time in the Arena League was so valuable to him becoming a good pro. I mean, it's a great story. If you get a chance to watch it, American Underdog, I'd check it out.
So, John Ohm, drop my gong. John Ohm in Winnipeg says, if I win the $25 million lottery, I will start up the CFL Arena Football League. Jason in Red Deer says, I'll do the Canadian Arena League. Who's with me? Dan in Winnipeg says, great comments, Rod, about the arena football in Canada. From Arlen Bruce III, who's watching, he says, just put me on the board if it goes through as far as arena football in Canada. Wow. Hashtag reps and touches. That's what it's all about. Reps and touches. Ryan McCarthy, watching in Saratoga, New York, says Pete Costanza was the head coach for the Arena Football 2 Albany Conquest before making his way to the CFL as a receivers coach. He'd make a great CFL Arena coach. Stop it. It's not the CFL Arena League. It's the Canadian Arena League. Cal. Not the CFL Arena League. We're not partnering with the CFL on this. It's our own league. What am I saying? Our. I've got nothing to do with this. At my advanced age,
the league.
I'm doing exactly what I want to do. Exactly what I want to do.
How about that?
And that's being on the air in Florida for 2 hours a day talking sports. It's exactly it. As a matter of fact, this guy wrote me on Twitter. Where the heck is it? Got it. Oh, Jeff Mooney writes on Twitter, Rod, been watching you live the last few weeks. I see you are in Florida again. Do you live there? If so, lucky. Love your show. Yeah, 1/2 Florida, 1/2 Alberta. It's a win. Robin in Prince Albert says maybe Grey Eagle Resort and Casino can be an investor in the Cal. Jason in Red Deer says, how about the Canadian Arena League of Football? CAF. CALF. The CAF.
It's pretty good.
I like
Boy,
it.
John in Winnipeg's got a lot to say for himself. I think he should have his own show. He says, for commish, Rod Pedersen, no thanks, not interested. You're not listening to me. I'm doing what I want to do. I don't want to be the commissioner of a football league. And Moose, before I let you go, from the people in Calgary, they want us, you were standing there, they want us to go back onto Facebook with the show. Stay on YouTube, stay on Game Plus TV, but they want us to go back to Facebook. I almost feel like that should be a poll question. Should we go back to Facebook with the show? What do you think? Oh, we lost him. That's the tech gods telling us, no, we're not going back to Facebook. Or did Mo log in already? Did that happen? Knocked him off the air. Okay, we're not blaming the tech gods on that one. We're blaming Mo Egger. Greg S., by the way, watching, Jets fan, he says, do you think Dave Lowry should finish the season as head coach of Winnipeg, or should they bring in a veteran coach now? Well, I think my initial thing is to say no, leave it with him. But I get what you're saying. Team hasn't exactly taken off under him as of late. I think you got to leave him in there and reevaluate this after this season. I got to think about that before I give you an answer. Mike Babcock's not coming. He said he'd finish the year with the Huskies. I can't think of anybody else. We're going to Cincinnati next. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Oh, boy. Welcome back to the RP Show, everybody. Apologies to everybody. Our outdoor set just got blasted with rain here in South Florida, but I think I've averted a major crisis. No, maybe not. It's pouring, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine as we talk Super Bowl 56 now with Mo Wager of ESPN 1530 Cincinnati. Mo, thanks for joining us today, my friend. And as your Bengals are off to the Super Bowl, I have to ask you this. With the Bengals going from doormats to AFC champions, has your job gotten easier or more difficult? Tell me.
It's gotten more hectic. It's gotten more hectic. But people want to talk to me now, which is in. By the way, where are you? Where are you talking to me from right now?
I'm in Boca Raton, Florida, where we're having a flash flood. Yeah.
Yeah, looks great. It sounds like, one of those apps that I might put on at night to go to sleep. The calm, soothing rain in the background. No, it's gotten it's gotten hectic. It's gotten weird because people want to talk to me, which is not something that I'm necessarily used to. But they want to talk to me about good things. They want to talk to me about, ordinarily if somebody like when you have me on, it's hey, the Bengals are going to stink again. Boy, how much does that suck? And it's sort of the same old broken record. And this year it's been a lot different. So. It's been fun to talk about different things. It's been fun to watch everybody be so excited. It's been fun to watch Bengals fans just sort of bask in the glow of what's happened with this team over the last couple of weeks and over the last 20 games. But it's gotten crazy. It's gotten hectic, but all in a good way. This is why you do what we do, Rod, right? For stuff like this.
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt. And the reason I ask is I've been the voice of terrible teams. I've been the voice of great teams, and they both have their pros and cons. That's why I ask. So you're going to Super Bowl, the boys tell me, so I will expect to see you at the Westin LAX live, Mo. We'll talk about that in a week's time. But listen, what's the message? What's the message from Zach Taylor right now? Like, because you see the Rams are favored by 4, and I think they're going to stay the favorites throughout. That line will probably be adjusted and so forth. But your take on the matchup, if you don't mind.
Well, I think the take on the matchup is this. The Rams have the better roster. The Bengals probably have the better quarterback. And so what wins out? And that's no knock on Matthew Stafford, who sort of represents a really fun success story. It worked. Him going to a better team worked, and good for him. And he's had a huge hand in their success. But Joe Burrow is an MVP candidate, or at least he should be. I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And the other thing about this team is for all the run that Joe has gotten, and it's deserved, and everything this franchise has done since the day they drafted him has occurred on his shoulders. But if you would have said before the Las Vegas Raiders game, before the wild card game, the Bengals are going to play in the Super Bowl, you would have said it's because Joe Burrow carries them there. I don't think that's happened. This team, top to bottom, they've gotten contributions from A-listers like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. They've also gotten massive contributions from players like Trent Taylor and B.J. Hill and Samaje Perine and Jermaine Pratt enormous contributions from those guys. This has really been a team effort. And look, yeah, top to bottom, from a personnel standpoint, I think you can conclude the LA Rams have the better team. But with the way this defense has played, with the way Jesse Bates has played, with what that defense did against Patrick Mahomes and company, with the way they're scoring on special teams, with the special teams play they're getting, and with Joe Burrow, I said this about Kansas City. I wouldn't count them out against them, and I'm certainly not going to count them out against the Rams in Super Bowl 56.
Do you feel like, well, obviously you must. It's a David versus Goliath matchup. Like Joe Burrow's going to be there for a long time. The Bengals are going to be probably in this game. You never know, but the Rams are set up for this, right? They pushed all their chips into the table. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to be there. The Bengals are not. I mean, how much do you think the Bengals play that up in their locker room? Are you playing it up on the radio? Do you see that story like I do?
I don't know that I would go with David versus Goliath. It's not like the Rams are a dynasty. They haven't won a title since they were in St. Louis. So, you're not exactly going up against a team that annually is in the Super Bowl. They're in it for the second time in 4 years. I think there's actually a lot of storylines in this game that are quite interesting. You start with Zach Taylor versus Sean McVay, two coaches that represent the youngest coaching combination in the history of the Super Bowl. Zach was on that staff in Los Angeles with Sean McVay when they played the Patriots a few years ago. Andrew Whitworth, who I think should be in the Hall of Fame, longtime Bengals, still beloved in this community. Possibly playing in his last game and playing at a really high level at the age of 40, playing left tackle. He's going to be trying to block Trey Hendrickson. The Jalen Ramsey matchup against whichever Bengals wide receiver he's asked to cover. And my guess is he's going to spend most of the evening on Jamar Chase. But, look, the Rams, you're right. There's a part of me that admires what they've done, which is forget the future, forget next year, forget the draft. Let's go win a championship now. But I do think that has created a sense of pressure on them that doesn't exist here. I think the Bengals feel like much more the long haul team, the team that's the surer bet to maybe get back to this game. But at the end of the day, you don't know. And so we've used the term house money here a lot. It was used. A lot of people said, well, the Tennessee game is house money. They've won their playoff game. They've broken through. House money, Tennessee. A lot of people said it last week, and you're hearing that here. And yeah, to a degree, no one's going to say the Bengals were a failure if they lose a week from Sunday. But if you've ever actually played with house money and you've lost house money, it's disappointing when you lose the house money. This is a golden opportunity. You never know when you're going to get back. You've got the quarterback. You've got a pretty healthy team. And as much as the Rams should be favored, it's not like you look at the Rams in this roster and go, oh, my God, how can we overcome what they have? There are some matchups the Bengals can win. There are some matchups that terrify me when we talk about next Sunday. But, yeah, there's every reason to believe the Bengals can win this football game. And, look, the Vince Lombardi Trophy's up for grabs. I don't necessarily know that you need any other motivation than the chance to win a championship and go down in this city's history as maybe the most beloved team ever, certainly the most beloved team since, I would say, the Reds of the mid-'70s.
Mo, you're wonderful at what you do. I really enjoy listening to you. I'm not done yet. I'm just throwing that in right now.
Oh, thanks.
I see the Bengals are going out early. That's the story that I've heard, that they're going out normally earlier than teams normally would. What do you know about that?
My understanding is they're going next Tuesday. And so here's the thing. Typically when the Super Bowl happens and the teams are leaving for the Super Bowl, we're talking about what the commercials are going to be at the Super Bowl because the Bengals aren't in it. So, yeah, I don't know what the standard protocol is. They're going to get out there with plenty of time to spare. I think it's always interesting when you hear in the aftermath of a Super Bowl when coaches and players talk about when the game plan was in relative to when they left. So do they get all their work in before they go to Los Angeles? And then when they get to Los Angeles, they just have to tweak some things and maintain some sharpness, or do they kind of take care of all the logistics stuff in Cincinnati, get to Los Angeles, and then get to work on the LA Rams? I think that's going to be worth paying attention to, but I don't know. I mean, to me, I greatly oversimplify this sometimes. Regardless of when they leave, as long as Joe Burrow gets on the plane, does the rest of it matter? I don't think the answer is yes.
They called him the next Joe Montana, and you've been there since day one for Joe, going number one overall. Has he been on your show? What can you tell us about this guy that the viewers don't know?
Just sort of a down-home regular dude, man. I mean, you asked about having him on my show, and I'll tell you quickly here what impressed me about him. Joe Burrow was at Ohio State, and he obviously went to LSU. But in between that, he went to UC. He went to UC's campus, the University of Cincinnati. They thought they had a chance to get Joe Burrow, and there's a lot of direct connections because much of the UC staff at the time had been at Ohio State. So Joe was on campus at UC, and for like 24 hours, it looked like there was a pretty good chance that Joe Burrow was going to be the quarterback at the University of Cincinnati. As it turns out, obviously, he went to LSU, and things worked out for him. But anyway, so he gets drafted, and I have him on the show. And he was, the day after the draft, he was wonderful. He was great. And you could tell he understood what he was being asked to do here. He was being asked to not just play quarterback, but really revive a franchise. And you could tell this guy was ready to handle the hype and everything that came with that. But at the end of the interview, I said, I have to ask you, why did you not go to the University of Cincinnati? And he gave me an answer that honestly upset a lot of UC fans. And he gave me an answer that we can now argue whether it was the right answer. He said, I couldn't win a national championship there. I greatly appreciated his matter-of-factness and his honesty and his transparency. That's not a guy who gave me some sort of canned answer. He didn't dance around the question. He didn't try to go out of his way to just, he didn't lie, didn't make up something. No, he just, look, I couldn't win there the way I could win at LSU, so that's why I went. You answer that question honestly, you're going to upset some people, and in the moment he did. I don't know that here anybody's mad at Joe Burrow right now, but just watching this guy, watching him from afar at LSU and seeing him here, he has been so good at handling everything this franchise has asked of him and everything that comes with being Joe Burrow in the city of Cincinnati, and I give him a lot of credit for it, and I certainly hope it continues.
Nobody wants to hear the truth. Mo, thanks for this, my man. As always, I hope to see you next week in L.A.
I hope so. And then the next time you broadcast from Boca Raton, if I can go with you, that would be cool as well.
Absolutely. I got a spot right here for you to hold my umbrella. Thanks, Mo.
All right, Rod. Thanks, man.
Mo Egger, ESPN 1530. Tune him in on TuneIn. The Moose will join us next for Overtime, everybody. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at Flame Tech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Oh, boy. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Can we get the Moose in here for overtime? Brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the UFC and the National Hockey League, where the Greek Freak has reported that he's seen his shadow. Today, on Groundhog's Day, Georgie Anito's predicting 6 more weeks at least of tremendous sports entertainment at the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Moose, were you watching at all when the monsoon hit here, our broadcast location in South Florida? Did you see that?
No, but I see you moved.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. You logged out. We went to the commercial. I just got blasted. You know that sideways rain? Not the rain that comes straight up and down. The sideways just blasted me. This is the worst. My notebook's all wet. I think I'm going to have to get a new one by the time I come to join you in Los Angeles. But by the way, Taco Time viewer takeover is at hand. Taco Time's signature hot sauce is made in-house daily. And by the way, you should go follow Darren and I on social media, on our Instagram, plus the show, at Rod Pedersen Official, at Darren DuPont, at The Rod Pedersen Show. Because when we were in the Chinook Center Mall in Calgary, I got 5 Dixie cups full of Taco Time hot sauce. And you put it to a Vic Router play-by-play. Can you imitate how that went?
Yeah, and it's funny. I was thinking about that last night because he had another call like that on curling yesterday. You know, and that's Vic Router's signature. You know, there's 5 stones in the rings, and he's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we timed it to her filling each of the hot sauce cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, goodness. It was it's pretty funny. It's on our Instagram under the Reels, so check that out.
Spicy.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You know what?
I can't wait for Taco Time. What?
I'm going to go put that on our story because it is Scotty's season and it's relevant all curling season. So Vic Router's side hustle.
I'm glad I reminded you. Have not updated the poll question in a while. For Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, do you like the name Washington Commanders? 72% on Twitter saying no, you don't. And I think leading the way on YouTube is no. Regarding some big names out of Ryderville being shown the door, John Ryan, we're told, and also Ed Gainey. Tim Furry's watching on YouTube. He says, I sometimes wonder if it comes down to money and culture in the locker room. I like Craig Dickinson, but I'm not 100% confident that he can take the Riders all the way. He's a good guy, but doesn't have the tenacity. When you look at Mike O'Shea, he's built that team-first culture. Several players said that they have never been on a team like it before. I don't believe the Riders have that. From Metal Shingle Guy, he says, Medvic is a lot cheaper and has a strong leg. John Ryan will probably retire. I'm just going to say this as a John Ryan fan. Sad way for his career to end. From Troy in Cochrane, Alberta, he says the league should bring back CFL week after free agency has kind of settled down. I thoroughly enjoyed that the couple of years it was around. I enjoyed it too. It was a lot of fun. I went to it in Regina. I went to it in Winnipeg, and I think that's all that there was the 2 years. 2 and done. Peter, watching in the sweatpants capital, says, come on, guys. Out east. Really, DuPont? From Pistol Pete. I don't know what he's talking about, but I see
He's
the
talking
last...
about the soccer game.
Okay, how do you know?
Because I said it was out east and completely missed.
He wrote, the last time Peter wrote in was November 25th. And he wrote in and said, every freaking time I tune into your show, your partner freaks me out on how much he looks like Mr. Ted Lasso. Signed, Peter from Regina. By the way, can you tell the story in a minute of the nice young lady at the stage bar at Grey Eagle, what she said to you? Remember that night we were watching sports in there? She was a server, what she said?
She was eyeing us up from over, and she kept looking, and I thought it was weird. But anyways, later she walks up, and she's like, do you ever get mistaken for Ted Lasso? Every single day.
Last minute of play in the RP show. Yeah. Do you remember her name, Moose? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, it's with a J. I know that, right?
J. Lisa.
Jezzy? J. Lisa.
J. Lisa.
That's it. You're
and
so
she's
good
a server
at that.
at the stage bar. I know. It's one of my few talents. From Doc in San Francisco says, good day, guys. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I love the Flames. Well, Doc, it's not going to be the Flames. I would bet everything that I have that it's not going to be the Calgary Flames. So you can take my betting advice on that. I would say the LA Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Who do you think, Moose?
LA Rams. I'm with you.
Okay. The eyes have it. Moose, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow.
I'm going to fight my way through this rain to get a haircut, and we'll see you tomorrow at noon Eastern here on Game Plus. Let's make some noise!
How about that? Right on. Bingo! LFG. Let's go. I like it. Hot take. Bob's your uncle. Spicy.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Oh no. Approved.